you somebody, Kings of Leon. You're listening to Northeast Radio SD. We've got a special guest with us in studio, aside from the Doreen Foster. We've got candidate for District 5 House of Representatives. We've got Republican Byron Callies with us. Good morning.
Well, good morning. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. We're happy to have you here as kind of we're getting into that season, I think, again, and the session's coming up pretty soon too, so it's good to have you in and kind of get a different voice out there. So with that, maybe tell us, Byron, a little bit about yourself. This wouldn't be your first rodeo, if you will, so.
Yes, I was a candidate and a legislator a couple of years ago. To begin my life, I was born in Madison, South Dakota, just 60 miles south of here. I grew up in Howard. That was a small town. When I was there, it was about 1,100. Now it's down to 800, so that's typical small towns can go. Graduated from General Beale Scott College. No, excuse me. I went to school for a year at General Beale College. Got married, moved to Huron eventually. Graduated from Huron University with a bachelor's and with a master's degree in business. So that was my education type career. I'm a 41-year retired member of the South Dakota National Guard. Retired in 2006 as a lieutenant colonel. Had a great 41-year career. It was something I am so glad I did. The strange thing about it, I was a senior in high school. My cousin said, "Let's go join the Guard." So I said, "Oh, okay." And I figured, well, 6 years I'll be out. 41 years later, I retired. So
wow.
It was a great life in the Guards, and traveled to Panama, traveled around the country. It was really a really good time in my career.
Thank you for your service.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
And while you were in the military, did you also work for South Dakota Energy too then, at the same time?
Yes, I started actually in 1970. I started with Northwestern Public Service, an investor-owned company out of Huron. I started in Chamberlain, South Dakota. I was there for 4 years as an electrician, serviceman. We fixed everything from toasters to install air conditioning to wire houses. I went out on the lines when the power was out and put the lines back together, helped with the line crews. Moved to Stickney, South Dakota, small town down by Mitchell. I was there for 4 years. And then in 78, I moved to Huron, and then I was there 23 years. And then in 2000, I came here into Watertown and worked for Western Area Power. So I had a 16-year career there. I retired in 2016, I believe it was. And then I ran for Senate back in that day and didn't win. And then I ran for House, as you well know, and I won that for 2 years. And that's up to this point, that's my political career. And so I just go from there.
Yeah. Well, what's motivating you to run again?
Okay. When we were out there, and when I say we, some of my friends and I were out there, was 2 years of just a great 2-year session. Things got done. We worked hard. I'm proud to say the governor did not veto any of our bills during the second half of our session. So I'm pretty proud of that, because that showed we worked together for the good. We worked for common sense. We worked for good sense, and we worked with across the aisle, and did a lot of great things for South Dakota.
Mm-hmm. So when you talk about some major policies that you were happy about during your time in office, is there one that kind of sticks out to you that you were pretty happy about?
Well, as I think back, and it's still today, the most controversial part of the session when I was there was the pipeline bill, the CO2 pipeline. That got to be very controversial. As a matter of fact, the bill that we put together, it became Senate Bill 201. It was a bill that gave benefits to landowners if eminent domain was used. A lot of people were told that this bill allowed eminent domain to be used for basically anything in South Dakota. No, that's not true. Eminent domain is in our Constitution. And so our bill, what did was to give benefits to the landowners. For instance, They were paid money for people to come on and survey the land. They were paid damages. They were given $1 a foot for every foot of pipeline across their property. It was just a great bill for the landowners, but it was referred and defeated. So landowners lost all those benefits that we worked so hard to get for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm disappointed in that, but maybe we'll move forward.
Yeah. So do you have any views now with the discussion with the property tax relief as you're thinking about, going into a future session if you get there?
Well, as you well know, property taxes are a real controversial topic. We hear that property taxes are so high and people can't afford to live in their homes. They lose them because their property taxes are so high. In the smaller towns, in the smaller areas of Bend, there's not a big complaint about property taxes. We hear the most property tax complaints are from the Rapid City, Sioux Falls. That's where the property taxes are valued high. Mm-hmm. We have high value houses right here in Wondertown, and so I understand that people are complaining about their property taxes, but where does the property tax is used for fire prevention, fire support, police, sheriff, various things, and for the school district. So if you cut your property tax too much, people will suffer, schools will suffer, firefighters, those types of services that we all expect are going to take a hit.
Mm-hmm. When that kind of brings up too, another one you had sponsored that dealt with the 911 surcharge legislation too when you were in office there. Do you have anything in mind that would deal with any more healthcare, like that public safety route, or anything you want to work on?
One of the things that, and I'm not concerned about that as well as some of the other topics that I'm concerned with, because when I was in session, we allowed the rates to go up just because the 911 services were operating at a deficit. They couldn't, it just couldn't be sustained until we added some more revenue to them. Mm-hmm. Public safety, of course, I've always been that. Is working for the power company, safety is a big issue with the high voltage electric lines and so forth. So, and I was for a while I was a safety director for the utility, and so I'm very concerned about safety. And so that if I'll take a look at any bills that come along, take a look and see what they're fit, what we should be doing for safety as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you have any questions?
What inspired you to get involved in politics?
A long time ago, well, no, maybe not a long time ago, I was still working for Western Area Power, and I was approached by an organization that said, "Hey, we think you might be a good candidate for office." And I said, "Well, I'd sure like to do that, but I can't right now because working for the government, you can't do that."
Yes.
But I'm gonna take a lot of credit here. I happen to have a daughter that I said, maybe you would like to think about that. Well, she did. Mm-hmm. And so she's became a legislator for several years, and now she's the Secretary of Health. So she really became involved. And I'm just gonna pat myself on the back just because I led her that direction. So
and your daughter,
I'm gonna take a lot of credit for that.
Your daughter's name?
Melissa Maxted.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So she's been a great asset for the state of South Dakota. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Definitely great work. And that makes me think too, when we were talking about all the different things that go into this, is there anything when you're thinking about District 5 that you are concerned with?
I am concerned definitely about the anti-economic growth that seems to permeate in this legislature. We've seen them, worked hard to repeal the 201, Senate Bill 201, which cost a lot of taxpayers, or a lot of landowners some benefits. We've seen the Gevo plant down by Lake Preston pull out because of what this legislature did. And now they're talking about stopping the data center down by Clear Lake. Also, they fought the new prison down by Sioux Falls. So there seems to be an attitude right now of not any growth in South Dakota at all. So I have a concern about that, and I've been pro-business all my life. I've been in the industry, electrical industry, and so I've been a small business owner. So I'm all for development in South Dakota.
Mm-hmm. Anything else from you, ma'am?
No?
No? Okay. Well, Byron, I always want to make sure that we do leave you guys a little time too, if there's anything that you do want to get out or anything else you want to mention before we wrap up or anything like that.
Well, thank you. Yes, I want to bring back a positive growth South Dakota. We seem to stagnate right now. We seem to have a lot of people that are saying, no, we're not doing anything. I've even heard one of the candidates for governor said, we don't want any outside businesses to come to South Dakota. We want South Dakota businesses. Well, you take a look at the businesses in South Dakota, a lot of them came from out of state. And so that helps development. South Dakota businesses by themselves will not see the growth that we could see with other investors coming into the state. So that's one of my concerns. We need to get that attitude back of growth, South Dakota, economically develop.
And do you have a page or anything people could find you, or if they want to help out or learn more about you?
Well, it's early in the campaign, so I will probably be setting one up, but I don't have one at this time.
Okay.
But I do have a Facebook page. Anybody that comes and asks me anything on there, I will gladly respond or not, depending on how serious the question is.
Yep, seen those.
So anyway, that's I've served before. I think I've done a tremendous job. I've got good statewide development attitude. So I think it'd be a great plan for me to get back in there, bring good sense back to South Dakota.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That is a candidate for Republican Byron Callies, District 5 House of Representatives. We'll have more on that here later as well. The June primary will be in 2026. And so stay tuned on that. And we appreciate him coming in and sharing all that with us. And stay tuned to Northeast Radio SD.